Cool. We're live. And this is a sketch. I just wanted to jump to have this board already darkened up from something I've done before. And I just wanted to jump to a quick color sketch for this idea I had. I've been doing a lot of black and white sketching for it, but I just wanted to jump to paint real quick because I feel like there's a weakness in the black and white, and it's just something about the textures. I don't know. This is just for me to kind of work out how to get where I'm going with this project. This is definitely just a workout for me, is what this is. Not terribly worried about the end product. I'm worried about the process. Trying to spend some time thinking about how to move something like this forward. And I'm actually just using some of the paint from what I was doing yesterday to get it in here. I'm really not even mixing up paint. I'm just kind of letting yesterday's mixed paints kind of inform what's happening here. Seems a little lazy, but it's allowing me to be a little more immediate than if I were sitting here mixing paints, aiming for a direct thing. And really helps me get rid of some of my preconceived notions about what the color should be. So that's what's happening here. It's an opportunity to be a little more creative. Okay, I want that more straight up. It's an opportunity for me to be a little more creative and to not worry about color, just worry about texture and brushwork. Huh. Gee, I wonder if there's any rattling. Get rid of some of that rattle. And this is, if I have rules, I'm breaking them right now because I'm applying paint directly and just mixing it on the canvas. Well, it's not a no now. It's not bad. It's just generally I would mix the color that I want first and then lay it down. Oh, that brush isn't big enough. That's funny. I thought that was going to be plenty big, but apparently not. Let's get the nice thing about having like a board like this, and I got a ton of these sitting around. I made them years ago, and they're all the same size, but I don't like the size anymore. So it's like I can just mess with them. I've got another one sitting against the wall right now, and I don't feel bad that I'm just messing with them. Like, it doesn't bother me. Welcome, Buddha. We got TikTok going over here. Ah, nice. And see, now we're having fun with it. And I'm not... Huh. Well, that's interesting. I did not think it was going to work out that well. Man, I like that. Holy cow. If I could keep that effect, it's so hard to keep that effect. I would have to pull it off the board right now and lay it flat to keep that, which you may see me do. Shazer. That's me pulling it off the board. That's me swearing and saying, yes, I'm keeping that just the way it is. Right now, we'll let it dry, just like that, and then we'll mess with it. So that doesn't happen very often, but it happened just now. So I'm glad I got that live. Yeah. Let me go set this down. So now I'm actually going to grab another canvas and just throw it up on here. This is a super cheap. What is this? Easel. So I've done some modification, and I find that it's almost like the people who made this easel have never painted anything. It's like, here's an easel. You think this will do what you want it to do, but I mean, they couldn't be more wrong. It really, needs heavy modification to do anything worthwhile. So we're gonna get you guys a little closer. And what you're gonna see me do right now, after I get another weight on this, I'll hold you guys still. And then I have to get a sandy one. That'll work. I'm going to do the same painting that I just did. But the difference is I'm starting with white. I'm going to carve back into it in a different way. So, I'm going to do something I never do. I'm going to pull some black. I don't typically use black. Here, we're gonna. Now, a normal artist would use like a painter's white or something. But because I want this in here fast, and this is a different canvas. This is a canvas, which I have become less and less enamored of over time. I prefer to work on board because board, and what you just saw me do is I grabbed some blue and mixed it in there. Holy cow, I got way too much black on her. Sweet. It's like, yeah. All right, cool. And so I've done a crap ton of sketches for this painting, and I'm still not sure where I'm going with it. So that was a lot of black. Man, that was a lot of black. I'll get it off my brush. And sheesh. Okay, nice. So the nice thing about board, which is what I'd like to use, is that it's more receptive to scraping back. Sheesh, that's a lot of black. All right, so we're gonna brave scraping canvas. And it's a lot more, so canvas, because it's highly textured, is going to soak up in the inside the texture. It's going to soak up that black. So, like I said, I'm making the same exact painting I just made that's sitting over there drying right now. And we're going to go ahead and see if we can jump in here. We are about to ruin a rag. Since we're ruining rags, we may as well ruin a crappy one. Here we go. Get control of that back end. So if I have that back end flopping out, chances are really good I would touch the canvas with it. See how it's carrying that up? I shouldn't let it do that, and I could do that by just getting a once wipe. But actually, I'm kind of enjoying it. So I don't ever work this way with paint anymore. This is something I would do with charcoal, but I'm just kind of digging the roughness of this tool. Like, this rag is so bad at what it does. It's so bad at being a rag that it's good at being a mark making tool. Which is funny. So let's see. We're going to wipe that back. Use a little force. Use a little water. And this is the experimentation part. This is the part where you're like, I just don't care what it looks like at the end. All I want to do is ask the paint to do something weird and hope that it delivers. So I'm paying attention. As you see, I'm not wiping right there. That's deliberate. It's because I want that texture to stay. Right there in the middle, you see that? It's another example of this being a crappy rag, but a great mark making tool. So, don't you worry. fix it all. Alright, so I'm gonna go grab a real rag, get it wet a little bit. Get a little bit of that right there. You see the difference already between a good rag and a bad rag? This is cleaning it up so much better. And give me that white. So I'm going to carve back to the white because there's a convenience factor when it comes to the white of the canvas. It's so much harder to project a good solid light with paint than it is to just let that canvas shine through. Now we get to get some good mark making. I'm going to bring that other rag back because that other rag was so much better at mark making. Okay, cool. So this guy, yes. I just turned it just a little bit. So I'm turning it just so I can get rid of that paint section. So it's not going to, you see how it tracks back like that? I'm going to leave that because I like that track. But if you get too controlling with paint and with art, then you get it's fine if that's what you're aiming for, but you get too in your own way, in your own head, and you're not allowing the paint to do things that it should do or things that it wants to do. You're not allowing for serendipity is actually the word I'm looking for. There's a certain level of accidental mark making that is just beautiful. And so that's kind of what I wanted to aim for with this. I think I didn't realize that until I started working on it. Turned on the video, just went, and I didn't realize that the thing I really was enjoying about all the sketches I was making was the mark making aspect of it. And because I have a design in mind, right? And I have an imagery that I'm looking for, but this mark making is a big part of the texture of the. So like that scrubbing is going to be different than just a single wipe like that. So really, man, I'm enjoying that part of it. Okay, cool. Stand back from that a bit. Really close to what I want with the design. So at this point, because I guess I've done a crap load of sketches for this already. The design is really close. So now I'm working on mark making and just allowing some things to happen. See now that ended up being, I got so much water on there that there's a wash happening, like a black wash, and it's just coming down. And I don't know if you can see that on camera very well, but it's just leaking down and making some great marks in there. And I'm going to keep that almost just the way it is. Let's see. You know what? If I could do the same thing with just I got too much spray. But if I was just right there and just right there and keep that. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay. So I'm going to preserve that one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pull this one off, I'm gonna do the same thing I did just a few minutes ago. I'm gonna pull this one off. Oh, why am I loosening that? And go set it flat and preserve as much of this texture as I can. And then I'll come back and finish working it later when it's dry. Get some finger painting in here. You know what it does need, and it could probably do right now, is grab some of this. Okay, that's not necessarily anything I want. Nah. All right. Let's step back, look at it for a second. Okay, I really like what's going on there, so let's pull it. There'll be modifications later, but what is that? All right, this is probably a bad idea. We're gonna do it anyway. This is crap. Like someone literally put, apparently when someone was doing a zoology class, whatever you want to say. I'm gonna use the back of the board. Or should I use the front of the board? They both got a cool texture to them. I'll use the back of the board. And just, now this is absolute crap. I probably shouldn't even be messing with it. This is like, yeah, the problem with playing with this is gonna be that whatever I produce on this can't really be reproduced on anything else, although the texture is cool. Maybe I'll have to figure out how to get that texture. See how it's like, because it's so bendy. Okay. I never work with black anymore, so this is fun. Maybe this is my reintroduction to black as a viable color. I've just been doing so much with painting more realistic stuff, and black isn't great for that. That's a lovely mess, isn't it? That is a lovely mess. So I'm going to pull this down into here. There's no reason to leave that big white section like that. Okay, yeah, so this board is just going to warp like crazy. I'm getting it wet. There's no keeping this. So there's no caring about something like this. You can't use it, so it's a chance to just play. I mean, I could keep it, but... Okay, that's interesting. That spray went up. Or is it... Something's going on with the way this paper absorbs. That's cool. Now I gotta see if I can replicate something like that. I'm really enjoying the textures. Let's throw that aside. And there are children ringing my doorbell. You tell they're children because an adult would not ring 4 times in a row. 5 times in a row. All right. I'm going to answer a door. Prepare to be bored. Oh, there's actually somebody here. Hi, Barbaric. I just went to answer my door. It's a long way away. So that's what's going on. All right, so we just did this real quick, and I threw it on the floor. So this is, okay, so the rule is you don't do anything on this type of stuff. It's like doing stuff on newsprint. Like newsprint, things always turn out amazing, but you can't do anything with them because they're, what's the word? Newsprint just goes to crap. Like, there's no archival quality about it. This is archival, but it's just like, you can see it's already warped. And I was just messing with it and wanted to paint a real quick sketch of this thing that I'm working on. Called Pillar of Smoke, or Pillar of Clouds, Pillar of Fire is what I'm actually working on. It's a Bible reference, but this is going in the right direction. Maybe it's time to put another one up on there and do some more paint. Let me grab another canvas. Let's see if we can't throw some.
But Joe Holliwell here and I know what we're doing. You'd be stupid not to use us, especially since we're dealing with multiple pipes.
Oh, did it jump out?
So I didn't adjust
That's
the
funny.
sound, and I'm guessing that the device big enough.
All right, grab another canvas. I'm going to use that one as a reference. This is an ugly canvas. Like, this is a cheap ass canvas. Better inspect it for like real serious quality issues before I use it. So, if it had real serious quality issues, I wouldn't use it. I'm going to sneak this. No, it's not going to work. Put it down on the floor then. Fine, whatever. Let's see if we can get this to do something. So, like I said before, this easel is super cheap and not built for big paintings for sure. Let's see. All right, cool. So we're just gonna get some black in there really fast. Just using that as a basic reference. I like some of the movement that was happening, the dark spots, the light spots, where things were leading. Let's just see if we can get there without. So the trick here is, because I'm looking at a reference now, is not to spend a lot of time and effort trying to reproduce that reference exactly. So don't get hung up on the details, just worry about the movement. So that's where I'm aiming for here, and getting some good texture in. Making sure I get where I'm going here. Aha. I'll have to use a little bit of different technique on this one, because the canvas is going to pick up things way differently than that. What is it, Bristol board? It's just something. It was the stuff I had down there was something free that someone gave me, and like I just picked it up on a lark. I don't even have a lot of use for that stuff. So the fact that it was really, like, the way it soaked stuff up was really inspiring. I go, whoo, that's fetching cool. And this canvas is just like, I got it too wet probably, so it's just the paint is just kind of bouncing off of it. It's really soaking in and moving down, which is rare. Just means I got the canvas too wet. Which will actually provide an interesting way of moving forward here, because that means I'm going to have to be thicker with my paint. Get myself some good meaty strokes in there. Okay, cool. Go back to it. And really just, the nice thing about having a good long brush is that you can grip way back and use a different attack on with the paint on there. So I don't have to, if you grip way up, you start to like aim at details and stuff. But if you grip way back here, it gives you a chance to use movement, use your arm and your body a lot more. Okay, cool. This is what I made for this, a little more. That is amazing to just watch the paint kind of like flow off of there. That is crazy. We might have to dry some stuff out. This is more attuned to what a traditional wash. Sorry. That's going to distract me until I do something about it on the side of this canvas. And so this is like a practice piece, right? So it could end up being a final because it's on, everything's archival, it's on the right stuff, but it could also be like, okay, you know, I worked some details out, I worked some technical issues out on this one, and then I moved to a much larger canvas. Even though this is actually pretty big for a practice piece. But it gives me a chance to use okay, this is where a little more technical. It gives me a chance to use my whole arm, my whole body to move the paint around rather than just little spaces. Okay, let's get in here. Just making a lovely mess. Okay, doing a little bit of reference, a little bit of looking. Nice thing about having sketched enough of these is also like you have a goal. You know what you're looking for in the final design, but you don't have to look at those sketches when you've done enough of them. You're like, I know what I want. There's easily 50 sketches of this already, so at least it feels like that much. So it's kind of cool. I've got multiple cameras set up, so I can look through multiple phones, multiple cameras, get an idea of what it looks like from a different point of view. For some reason, a camera just has a completely different eye. It flattens everything out. And so it starts to help you understand from a different perspective what it looks like. Because you get really stuck in your point of view. It's really easy to just get stuck there and not get outside of it. So you have to learn to back off and move forward. And actually the camera is just a cool invention for artists because it gives you a different way of looking at it. if you're not busy tripping over the camera cord. Okay, cool. I do really want I want more than just white here, right? I need some texture, I need some character, and so, like, motion. So allowing some wiping to happen, some drips to happen. Some happy accents in there, as Bob Ross would say. Pull that there, pull that there, around the top there. And if you really back way off on your tools, it gives you a chance to get outside of what you think you know about how to manipulate things. Because artists can really dive in and manipulate something really easily. And it's really easy to be hyper detailed and controlling. And I think you should control the marks you make, but you have to allow for that serendipity. You can't just be a control freak with all your marks and stuff. You have to allow things to live. Or kill your darlings, as Stephen King would say. About editing. So if you made one mark in here that you really, really love, you could let it live, or you can kind of say, well, is this distracting me from everything else? Is that mark I made becoming so important to me that it's allowing the rest of the painting to fail? It's going to be interesting to see what color this ends up, because it's not going to stay black. Okay, let's see. See? Totally get controlling. You start to think that you're the boss of the painting. It's just not true. Here, let's get that up there, because that's distracting me too. Get rid of that white. There. Alright, now I'm being too careful, so it's time to go in and mess crap up. Whoa! Nice. So, just a chance to really step back and look. Okay. Make sure the design's right, because I'm following this pattern that I have before, but it's not true to the end design. So it's a it's got to change. Nice. Oh, I love watching that run down. That's so much fun. So much fun. So I have a suspicion that going to color from this phase is going to be really hard for me mentally. Like, 'cause I'm going to get such good texture in here, and I'm going to have to figure out how to not fall in love with it and keep some of it, destroy some of it, and go to color without it just becoming pointless. Okay. Something about that is soothing to my soul. I'm looking at it through the camera and it's looking pretty good. I didn't realize how far off you were. Here, let's rotate this just a touch. Get you guys right on. Okay. So now is where I have to think about the subject matter and decide if this is carrying that across. I love the design. I love the textures. I'm really having a lot of fun with this. The question is, though, is it appropriate to the design? And I don't know the answer to that question right now. I'm kind of feeling like it's disrespectful to the material in some ways, but I'm wondering if that's just a preconceived notion that I have. Shoot. That wasn't what I wanted to do. And so that's like just changing the design is what's got to have to flow into this idea of the pillar of fire, pillar of clouds. The trouble I'm having with all of my sketches was that I was trying to represent both at the same time. And then I went back to the source material, which is the Bible, and said, okay, well, what are they actually talking about? Man, I'm stopping. Sheesh. This is good. Like one little right there. And I want that dark to carry off the side of the painting. So the story is from the Bible. Moses and the Israelites are in the wilderness, and they're being led through the wilderness by God through a pillar of smoke and a pillar of fire. And it's hard for us to imagine these days what that would look like, because we're not familiar with something. And it was just there. It was there. The pillar of fire is there for the light, and the pillar of smoke is there for during the day. But the pillar of smoke serves two purposes, which is interesting to me. So, and the cloud itself serves two purposes. So, what happens is it can serve as both a guide and sort of a way to obscure you from your enemies. And there's something deeper there that I'm not quite catching with my mind. There's something more to it. And so it's kind of interesting, like this sort of painting is always a journey, because you learn something during the journey. It's always opens up a new way of seeing for me. Like, I get so trapped in my ways of thinking that this type of painting has to come along and force me to see something in a new way. I have to think about the subject matter. To me, it's not just about marks. It's not just about texture. There is emotion. There is idea behind it. And it's funny because I have taken classes from artists who absolutely hate this sort of thing. Like, they taught me to paint better and to think about color and how to apply it. But when it comes to the other side, they're like, if you have to tell me about your painting, if you have to have an idea behind your painting, then that's not their thing. That's not their bag. That's not what they care about. They're like, they want to bring out the beauty in nature. They want to bring out the beauty of the subject matter that they're painting. That's more real is not the word, but for most people it is. So because real in art has a very specific connotation, and so it's hard to talk about it that way. But most people would say real or representative. Okay, that is such a good canvas. I'm just sticking with it. Like right now, that is where I needed to be. That is the piece I needed to paint at the time I needed to paint it. And it's not done, but the base is done. The texture's there. The design's there. The other things are going on back in the background. Yeesh, yeesh. And so no, this is what it needed to be. And it's a shame that I didn't catch this on any sort of film that stays. I wonder if YouTube records it or not. I'm gonna have to look. I think there's a button I can press where YouTube records this because I'm streaming. Huh. I'll have to check my. Okay, that's gonna sit there for a minute because it needs to get that wet. Okay, I'm totally drying out over here. Whoa, that is the wrong spot. Aha. Get that down there. All right, so next steps. Let's talk about next steps. Next steps on a painting like this are going to be dry it out, and then I'll put a coating of a clear medium on top of it to keep the texture. So I want to keep that texture. I don't have any plans to scrub back into this. I want to keep the texture and be able to color it. So this area, I have debates on the colors still, but basically this is going to be a different color. Even though I really like everything that's going on here, I am going to come in and highlight some areas, push some areas back. I may add more black. I may add back some white. But right now, this texture, this design, this stays, and I'll make it more permanent. While I am sitting here and have black on the board, let's grab some black and paint up the sides real quick. This is not a gallery hung canvas, which is also a shame that it's on this canvas. I need to get rid of every single canvas that is cheap like this. I guess I could frame it and then it wouldn't be such a pain in the butt. But I prefer working on a gallery hung canvas. It saves me framing costs. And then I can just hang it up as is, or I can frame it too, but like, oh, I need to scrub that back before I. Oopsie. No, I am totally thrilled with that. It's just sad that it's on that canvas. And you know, this might be something I make much, much bigger than this. So I might take this as a set of guidelines and go up to a 5-foot painting with something like this. Oh man, I really like that. I don't hate it. But yeah, this might be something I blow up to a 5-foot painting. Just go much, much larger with it. It's obviously something where I won't be able to capture the same texture in the same way, but the design will be there and the ideas will be there. And I think that this really hit what I was aiming for, right time, right place. I am not upset with this at all. So let me show you, if things have dried out, what we did today, because although I'm betting things haven't dried out. Oh, they're close. Okay. So we started very beginning. It's kind of funny, we worked backward a bit. this guy down on the ground. We started here, and this was like, okay, just so you know, it looks way better on camera than it does in person. This was today's start, and I just liked what had happened when I sprayed it, and so I just left it. And I'm like, okay, no, I need to leave that alone. I can come back and clean it up if I need to and modify it. And so then the second piece, the piece we jumped to from here, was this guy right here. He, oh man, that looks so good. He is really choice, and that's what, when I did that one, it gave me a pattern to move forward. I was like, okay, I like what's happening. I like this streak. I like it off center. Like that. So then we moved from that one to this one. This was super fast and loose because the paper's bad. But it gave me some ideas and it gave me some thoughts. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm like really glad I stopped because I don't like it as much as the end product. This is really cool. So I'm glad I'm going through and looking at these again. So, and then we end up with this guy. And that's after having like 50 sketches before this. So this is where we're sitting. Man, I'm really digging that. I like what's happening with the movement. I like what's happening with the texture. I'm going to keep it there, and I'm going to turn off my live because this has got to dry, and I got to do some prep, spend some time with family before I have a big thing going on tonight that I've got to get to. But no, I'm totally psyched about this. I'll keep doing this. Hopefully, YouTube is recording this. I'm going to go do some checking before I turn off the live. But thanks everyone for joining. Have a wonderful day. Thanks, Barbaric, for hanging out. And best go by. Cool. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate it. I just clicked in to see who you were. So, why doesn't it show interesting? Okay, cool. No, thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Three viewers, 0 diamonds. All right, so if you're hanging out with me on YouTube, which you aren't, because I can see the numbers, just chill for a minute. Whoa. Oh my gosh. All right, I gotta stop that. Hopefully we'll edit it. All right, hopefully YouTube saves this. So this has proven to me that I need another camera setup to record, just to record. If anything, I think that's gonna be vital. So let's go to YouTube and look at my settings. It looks like I'm currently live. I have one view. Average user rate, blah, 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 blah. Did I go to content? Did it save? Public pending. Oh, that's interesting. So why am I having... Sorry guys, I'm looking at the back end. I'm hoping that this will save it. Hey, stop making that noise. Okay, that was published videos. Let's see. Okay, that was yesterday. There's my fat self making some art. Okay, details, title required, analytics. Okay, it didn't get anything since it was published. That's fine. I just care about the ability to get this video off of there, and let's make some art. Go to video analytics, published videos, September 30th. This was yesterday.
Now it's free.
All right, cool. It looks like it's saving them. Okay, cool. That means I can. Oh, that's probably me. 1601. Okay, Jose, did you just barely jump on there and say that? Show. Okay, cool. Thank you for joining. By the way, I'm actually trying to figure out and make sure that this video that I just did got uploaded to YouTube. So I've been painting, but oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's gonna dry. It looks like, and so I'll show you. So what happened is then this was wet. It was super dark, and now that it's drying out, it's really like receding. So what I'll do is I'll put, and this is still wet, like these right here are still wet. So what I'll do is I'll put a wet varnish over the top of it, and then I'll color this. So it'll go back to being a really nice black. That's the nice thing about varnish is like, in varnish videos, we call it varnish porn, because what happens is like, it's just so nice to go from this that's flattening out to that varnish just gives it that wet look and keeps it. It's gorgeous. Doing that is so much fun. So it makes a good video in the end. And so now looking at this in the drying process, watching paint dry actually is what we're doing right now. That's a lot of fun for everybody. No, so that should be just fine. I love the question marks, by the way. No, so it looks like YouTube's going to save this video, which makes me happy. I do probably need to get another camera and add it to my setup and just record with that camera. So I just have process videos. But it looks like I'll be able to download this, hopefully, from my own channel. Can I do that? And then speed it up and republish it as a quick paint video. So we're just chilling live. I could start streaming to Twitch again, but meh. Okay, cool. I was streaming to TikTok too. Okay, cool. Maybe zoom out real quick and see what we did today. The question kind of is next, like this, I know what's next with that. I don't know what color it's going to be, but I know what the process is, so that doesn't worry me. The question is really like, what do I do with this guy next? Because let's sit here and think about it for a second. He looks okay. Good. If I'm pointing my phone at it, then it looks different than if I'm pointing this webcam at it, and that's good because it doesn't look nearly as good on the webcam and in person as it does on the phone. So this is a better. Okay. So this is a better view, but it's still not true to life. So the question then is going to be, what do I do with this next? I imagine I'll come in here and do some cleanup. Stay. Like some of this is just dirty. So I'll grab something like a rag and come in here and do a little bit of wiping and wipe some of this back. And then I'll do the same thing I'm going to do the other one, which is get a varnish coat on it. And then that varnish coat will brighten everything up, and then I'll be able to see, okay, what colors do I need to do? I might not even keep this one. I might just paint over the top of it. This was more of an experiment to see where I needed to go next, and it gave me a good heads up on what needed to happen. So right now I'm not wiping completely off, I'm just thinning it out. Thinning out some of that texture and stuff. Texture's nice, but it doesn't need to be that uniform across the board. But overall, as far as painting goes today, even though I don't like this, like I got some good ideas out of it. And that's really what it was about. That was what the whole exercise was for. So, yeah, I got some good ideas out of it. I'm not worried about it. Cool. All right. Well, since everybody's gone, I'm going to go too. Get in the way here. All right, let's leave this one. Okay. YouTube's gonna save it. We're good to go. Hope everyone has a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, great day. Where's the button?